Hey there, my friend. It's time for our weekly wisdom card draw. This is your time to pause, to ground yourself in the moment, to connect with yourself, with your dreams, with who you are, who you're being, to reclaim the power that you have to create your life in each moment, and to commit or recommit to shining your light in the world. I'm going to draw a card from our deck, which is in PowerPoint right now, but which will be a card deck later this year. And before I do that, as usual, if you're following these weekly, or if this is your first time, what I usually do is just invite you to arrive in this moment. Taking a pause from whatever it is you're doing, letting go of anything that has come before, and letting go of anything that will come after. Just letting yourself be right here, right now. And you can do that by taking a breath, breathing in, breathing out. You can place a hand on your heart if that feels good. You can close your eyes if that feels good. If you're walking and listening, maybe don't close your eyes, but notice the world around you. Maybe you notice your feet touching the ground with each step, or you notice whatever your surroundings are. And if you see these surroundings a lot, I love to invite you to notice them as if you're noticing them for the very first time. So what can you notice outside of you? What can you notice inside of you? And these noticings can happen more deeply and more profoundly when you do allow yourself to arrive and to just be here now. So as you breathe and as you be and notice, I'm going to bring the cards to my heart and ask to be guided to the message that will be of highest service to you today. What message do you most need to hear? Perhaps in these challenging times you've been derailed a bit. What message will most bring you back to who you are, your center, your grounding, you? And with that intention out there, I'm going to shuffle the cards. You can just keep breathing, being, noticing. And our card is delight. Okay, I always laugh when I see this one because I laughed when it happened. All right, so this is a wet leaf, which you might think, why is there a picture of a wet leaf here? And I'll tell you why. First, we'll read the message. So the message of delight. What brings you joy? Don't wait for the big things before letting yourself live. Celebrate life itself. The ability to delight in simple pleasures brings joy within reach every day, no matter what else is happening. What calls to you? Notice the thing that others may not notice. A wet leaf after a rain, bright and solitary and perfect. The warmth of the sun on your face. The smell of the morning. Learn to look for delight in the ordinary. The more you seek out what delights you, the more you'll find that delights you. Little by little, you'll notice a shift in your entire experience of life. This is not self-indulgent. This is necessary. Your joy brings more joy to the world. Your delight makes a difference. Let that sink in. So I do always laugh when I see this picture because this was taken in Rapa Nui, the island of Easter Island. And what happened was we had actually just gotten to Rapa Nui from Chile, and we were coming from the airport on the bus, and I saw this wet leaf on the pavement outside the window of the bus and was in such a rush to get off the bus to take a picture of it before someone stepped on it. it had been raining, obviously, that I slipped and fell on my butt and got all wet. I'd been super proud of myself for packing very lightly on this trip. I think I had one pair of pants and one pair of shorts, and then of course running clothes. And within 5 minutes of arriving on the island, I had gotten my one pair of pants all wet. But they're travel pants, so they can clean easy, and that was not a big deal. But but I always laughed because there's just falling down in my rush to take a picture of this wet leaf that delighted me. So, so the other lesson there is that you can always just make a funny story out of anything, right? And so, what is it that delights you? That act of noticing, and maybe you've had the most trying day ever, but a little bluebird passes in front of your window and just makes you smile because it's so bright blue, or you hear some birds chirping, or maybe you have a dog and your dog does something funny, or your child does something funny, or who knows what it is. My sister and I always laugh. Well, my sister loves to say how we'll just call each other up and say, "Hey, I just watched this Star Trek episode, and here's what I learned," or whatever it is that brings you delight in the moment. It can be a quote, it can be a memory, it can be whatever. I'm just spouting a few things here, but clearly, what brings you delight is unique to you, and you get to explore that, and you get to explore that. That last piece there, that this is not self-indulgent. This is necessary. Sometimes it can feel like, oh, I'm not allowed to experience delight when so many people in the world are suffering. And yet, honestly, you taking a stand for your joy and your delight literally does add that frequency of joy and delight into the world. And those are the kinds of things that will actually change the world. Making yourself miserable or wallowing in misery because other people are miserable is actually just continuing to bring everything down. It is actually, there's a really beautiful article out there called "Is It Selfish to Want Happiness?" And it's I think it's mindfulnessexercises.com. So yeah, go search mindfulnessexercises.com and "Is it selfish to want happiness?" or just Google "Is it selfish to want happiness?" And one of the things they say is that in fact it is selfish to continue to kind of consciously cultivate uh, unhappiness, right? To dwell in a state that is actually not your natural state. Your natural state is joy and delight. And these things, it's obviously we have challenges, we have pain, we have anguish, and these are part of the human experience, and we're not trying to bypass them. But there is an underlying frequency of faith and peace and trust that even in the midst of a heartbreaking moment, that there is a joy for the experience of life. If you see my sun theme post where I'm talking about basically each quantum human design gate through the lens of 7 levels of energy leadership, this is level 6, where it is every experience of life has something valuable and joyful to offer, even if it's on your knees in tears. There is something valuable there. So we strayed a little bit far from the topic being find those little moments of delight in the day. And I guess we didn't really stray that far because, again, this is powerful. This is necessary. This is soul work, right? So how can you actually choose to be delighted? How can you choose joy in the midst of what might feel like anything but? Where can you find that? Where can you do it? Where can you challenge yourself to take a breath and delight in whatever little pleasure can shine a light in your day? So I encourage you to do that. You don't have to fall on your butt in the rain to do it. You can if you want to, but enjoy, find some delight this week. Go out. I encourage you right after this video, just look around and find something to smile at, something to just bring you a little bit of peace and ease. I wish you a delightful week. I am delighted that you are here watching this video. Thank you so much. And do remember to shine your light. Your light is necessary, and we want it, and we need it. All right. Much love.